unclogged TV.
Beyond the policy.
Brothers and sisters from the press, organized labor met this morning through to this afternoon to discuss the government meeting with organized labor's response. We have concluded as follows. Our strike remain unchanged. I want to repeat, the strike notice remains unchanged. We have the view that what the government has proposed to do does not adequately address our demands. And therefore, our notice of strike notice remains unchanged. Thank you.
Yes, as you just saw in the video, organized labor still intends to embark on their strike. And based on the trending issue, or more of a pressing issue of Galamsey and the reactions it is getting here in our nation or nationwide, we decided to have a talk about the implications of Galamsey here. So don't forget to send in your comments. The phone lines are actually open, so you can call in for us to, have a conversation, share some of your views. But please and please and please, I implore you, my cherished viewers, not to politicize this conversation. This conversation is a national issue, and let us keep it so. So yes, we had a reporter who was also there where the meeting with the organized labor was, and she will be here on standby to discuss or to even brief us on some of the issues that were raised there, some of the concerns of organized labor as we continue. And there's also another video that we'll be putting up shortly, but I want to also let you know that this conversation is with my co-host Miriam Abna-Dede and Mr. Clement Yabankwe. So of course, it's going to be very, very lively and hot and things. And of course, when you also call in, you can share your not political views, your own views about the Galamsey, and even suggestions we can make to our leaders. Let us have the next video.
Brothers.
Okay, so our video is not ready, but yes, Clement and Mimi, organized labor says they are embarking on the strike, and Galamsey, as we've been talking about, it's become a very, very big issue now. The effects have been exacerbated, and there are pros and cons to Galamsey, if there's a ban on all kinds of mining, or even when there's a state of emergency declared. And we have, there are about 5 different impacts, or maybe even angles we can look at. And the first one is talking about the economic impact of Galamsey. And with the economic impact, I'm sure there are definitely positives and negatives. Then we have the environmental concerns as well. And then the social implications. Then the last two are the regulatory framework that we need to put in place, or that should be working. And then the last one is the labor rights and protection. So which ones should we, I mean, we will not be able to exhaust all. So which ones do you think we should tackle today?
I think the economic impact.
The economic impact, okay.
And but before we go into that, I think basically everything is all about the intended organized labor strike action. I'm equally looking at the impact of this strike this strike action on the economy.
Okay.
If organized labor should go on strike on 10th, what is the impact?
Okay.
What is the impact on Galamsey activity? So these are the things I personally would like us to touch on.
So yes, like I said earlier, we had one of our colleagues report on the issue. She's on the line, so we're going to be engaging with her to find out what information she can give us. Is she on the line, please? Okay. Hello, Beatrice. Good morning.
Hello, Yaya. Good morning. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Yourself?
I'm doing great. I'm keeping well.
Okay. So can you give us a short overview of what you were able to report on yesterday, please?
Yeah. So yesterday, organized labor met with the press.
Okay.
After minutes of heated deliberations with members of organized labor, just on the way forward on this intended strike action.
Okay.
And they are saying just one thing. They said the government did not meet their demands, and therefore they are still going on strike on the 10th of October.
Okay.
So that is basically it.
Okay. So there were members of organized labor that were not so in favor of the strike. What were their concerns as well?
Yeah, so organized labor is made up of so many institutions coming to talk of the health sector, talking about education. All these bodies, important bodies governing the country, are part of organized labor. So if they should take a decision about what is happening and the way forward, that is their intended strike, the whole country will be down.
Okay.
So people are saying that they should adhere to government time that government has given them and wait a while till government does something. But you ask, what is government actually asking them to do? According to the General Secretary, government did not say they should extend the time. That's not what government said.
Okay.
He said government asked that labor union or organized labor will meet with the Attorney General and all other stakeholders to ensure swift adjudication of the illegal mining menace.
Okay.
And government also stated that all presidential candidates will sign a formal agreement committing to fight illegal mining. So we don't depoliticize the issue or politicize the issue. Yeah, so they are saying that these things government have stated didn't really meet what they are demanding. And what are they demanding? They are asking for a declaration of a state of emergency, looking at where we stand now. They are also asking for the revocation of LI 2462, which permits mining in diverse hotspots like reserves and water bodies. Finally, they are asking the government to deploy military to the forest areas and water bodies to curb these ongoing distractions. That's all they are asking, these three things. But as it stands now, they are saying government never met them. So what they've decided on is what they have decided on.
Okay, so they are saying that the government did not meet the organized labor at all?
Government met organized labor on 3rd of October.
But they've not met those demands.
Yes, the demands they laid out, the three major demands they laid out were not met.
Okay. Miriam and Clemens, do you have any contributions or questions to ask Beatrice before she goes off?
I think this question won't be direct to Beatrice, but I think if Beatrice can help us with some information about that. Because we know some years ago, the president deployed military people to the various sites of Galamsey in the intention to fight against this illegal mining. And we all saw the results. So the question is, if organized labor is asking government to do this very thing again, in what form? If Beatrice, you can give us information about that in what form does organized labor want government to do such? Because it has already happened and it seems it failed. So what form did organized labor communicate to the president? If you could help us with any information.
Yeah, so as you know, it's only the president that has the right to make certain decisions.
Okay.
And this Galamsey issue is a distraction to the entire country.
Yeah.
And also to it in effect, it will affect those around us, countries or water bodies around us as well. So it's not only about Ghana,
Okay.
it's about people that are engaged sort of economic activity. We are exporting products, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So if we are exporting products and people are seeing the mercury and everything that we are using in our water bodies are affecting these crops we are exporting, then it will end up affecting the country economically.
Yeah.
Yes, the government deployed military some time ago, but we need a sustainable solution.
Okay.
The government can say, in my opinion, the government can say, I'm deploying military today and tomorrow.
Okay.
What happens next after election? What happens next after they call off their strike? So it's not just about deploying military, it's about sustainable solutions to this menace.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I can say.
Okay.
Okay, so Beatrice, please can you hear me?
I can.
Yes, so my question has to do with the reactions from the organized labor members that met yesterday. You know, initially they said they were going to embark on the strike at the end of the month, which beginning of October, and then they had to extend it again. Were you briefed on why they needed to extend the time to the 10th of this month? And I also got to know that some people were not in agreement with the extension and even the strike. These were people part of the organized labor. Did you make anything out of these controversies that rose up yesterday at the meeting?
No, I didn't, but I think the initial date that was given by organized labor was to give government a window period to open up the day for him to find solutions to the menace.
Okay. So,
and given a time bound would help government to take quick action towards whatever he intends doing.
Okay.
Yes, yesterday wasn't an easy agree and let's go thing. Because, as I said earlier, it involves key organizations. This is going to affect our hospitals. This is going to affect our children going to school and teachers as well. So it's not one person's decision and let's go. So it was heated. Yeah, so I think they went through a lot to come up with this decision.
Okay.
Although some people may not be in favor, they have to fight for a unison cause.
Okay. So as you were there, as you mentioned that organized labor consists of, a whole lot of other sectors and things. Were there any suggestions made that, the government could probably take into account?
So whatever they are saying, it's simple. As I mentioned, they mentioned only 3 key things they want government to do for them.
Okay.
A declaration of a state of emergency, revocation of LI 2462, deployment of military to areas that are affected.
Okay, so what I mean by my question is, you know how when the state of emergency is declared and all the banning and things are set in place, all these people who probably are going to be losing sources of livelihood, their jobs and things like that, suggestions about what alternatives to give them so that it does not look like you've taken the only thing they can find to do away from them without giving them anything else to use to replace that. Those are the kinds of suggestions I was talking about. Or we didn't have anybody suggesting something that the government can do as a way to cushion these people who are going to be losing their jobs?
I'm sure when they met government on 3rd October, they had such kind of meetings and yes, conversations. Okay. But this was just straightforward. We don't agree with your proposal. It's not adequate to meet our demands. So we are going on strike. Okay.
So the impact of the strike as... Pardon? Okay, so before we sign you out, do you have any suggestions you would like to make to our government about this issue?
So, more than 58 forest reserves have been affected by this illegal mining. And these reserves are closer to vital water bodies.
Yeah.
So it's ending up affecting us as individuals. If they really think about the people who vote for them, this is not me speaking as Clock TV, I'm speaking as an individual. They should try and meet these demands for a sustainable solution. Because this is affecting our food security.
Yes.
It's affecting public health. How many doctors do we have in Ghana? How many hospitals do we have? Just think about 1,000 people falling sick in a day. What happens to us? Our water system that sustains our lives, what is happening to them? We are here in Accra thinking nothing is affecting us. But just last week, we saw what is happening to the Wager Dam.
Yeah.
And we are saying we are doing Green Ghana project. Yes, we are planting. But what is happening to the ones we have already planted? All we are saying is we need a sustainable solution. And that should come quick.
Yeah.
Because the youth are very devastated about these things. All right, so that's all I can say.
Thank you so much for your time and the amazing job you did yesterday. We are most grateful to you. We will see you later in the day. Thank you so much, Beatrice. Yeah, so that was our reporter, Beatrice Bampoado. She was able to capture some of the information that she gave to us yesterday at the meeting between the organized labor and the government yesterday. So, the press statement, sorry. Now, my people, impact.
Yeah, before you go to impact, I think this issue is, as we all know, is a national concern. It's a national concern that we need to treat it as such. And Beatrice said one thing, and I really appreciate her comments. She said, we shouldn't make it political. We shouldn't look as if a political party is beefing up. It's funny. I happen to be on one platform, and I saw on the page, people are agitating that organized labor has been cushioned by someone to undertake this strike action. Organized, and when I see things like this, I ask myself that, are you in Ghana? That's the first question I ask myself. Because we are talking about a situation that is going to affect our future, are going to affect people yet unborn. And people are thinking about their today. Because trust me, if not for any other thing, if not for your today, why will you fight against Galamsey? And being so frank, like Mimi, if not for people's today, why would they fight against Galamsey?
I get surprised when people generalize issues like this, saying someone says this because of this person's political affiliation, so we are taking this action. But let's ask ourselves, organized labor is made up of how many unions? And so can just one person come out and say, we are embarking on a strike?
No, definitely.
Of course, no. And even within organized labor, we have the health workers, part of organized labor. They are also witnesses of these same impacts the illegal mining is having on us. They are the hospitals, they are the health centers. They see the number of cases that, come out every single day. The children that are being born deficient of one hand, one leg, or whatever. They are witnesses of whatever is happening. So people should stop saying it is an agenda, it is a political, gimmick, something to push the incumbent government out of power. No.
So my question is, if it's political agenda, does it mean the political party has gone to pick sand and put in the various water bodies
This
we
is
have?
what someone said.
Because if they are saying it's something that is cooked and it is really political, it means someone has intentionally polluted the water bodies. Like how?
Well, sometimes I think that I don't know how best to say this with utmost decorum, but the high illiteracy rate in this country is also a way, has also been capitalized upon. Because if the literacy rate here in Ghana was high enough, no one would think to say something like this for people to even back it.
Some of them, they know what they are doing.
And
but intentionally, they are still doing it.
That is exactly what I'm saying, that they know that the masses, how many of them are properly educated and can think, you know, because for you to say something like this, it means that you know that these people don't know the basics of even just the issues. Because if we are talking about the fact that something going on is affecting everybody, and then just because party faithfuls and fanaticism and things, or even sycophants, be just preying on that, you can make such a comment and still get people agreeing with you without thinking of the fact that they are also going to be victims.
Of course. And I get surprised, seriously, I get surprised at some of these, and it is women that are mostly seriously women, but you that are at a high risk. Recently, some of the protests were even
equally at risk.
We as women will not get water because we use water to do a lot of things regarding women. Even washing that place, that's essential.
Aside the genital infections for women, men are also likely to. Okay, if you even remember, when we were in primary school, environmental studies, they said when you go and bath in polluted rivers, the men too will get bilharzia. And from what I remember about bilharzia, the way it also travels so as much as women are going to be victims, men are equally going to be victims, because just like we learned about kidney issues, that if your sodium intake is too much and your body is not able to filter it out, your kidneys are going to be affected. Male and female kidneys do not have any special properties.
It is the same.
Yes. So the mercury, manganese, all these mineral poisoning that we are, actually facing right now, it will affect the men just as much.
Yes.
If it causes maybe vaginal infections for women or infertility issues, the men too can suffer infertility issues. And even the very popular one, erectile dysfunction.
Of course.
So
very necessary.
I think you are taking a conversation.
I can't afford to die a virgin. No.
Hey,
I think you are taking a conversation.
We are still, but we have a video. The video we wanted to play earlier is ready. So my producers, please let's view the video, please.
Actually, let you know the outcome, the detailed outcome that came out from our meeting.
Right.
Yeah, so that will be a balanced report. Good. I think that when we met the president on the 3rd, we deliberated on the issues, our demands of which you all are aware. What we came out with is this, that the government will collaborate with organized labor and the stakeholders in the fight against Galamsey. Number 2, the government will take steps when Parliament reconvenes this month to revoke the environmental protection, that is the Mining and in Forest Reserve Regulation 2023 LI 2462. Again, government would ramp up its enforcement measures, particularly prohibiting the mining in water bodies and forest areas. For the Attorney General will collaborate with the Chief Justice to set up courts dedicated to deal with prosecutions of illegal mining. Then the Attorney General will again collaborate with the Chief Justice to ensure swift adjudication of illegal mining. Then government supports the call for all presidential candidates to sign a pact committing to the fight against illegal mining. And the last paragraph says that government reiterates its commitment to the fight against illegal mining and calls on all stakeholders to join the fight. President has never requested for any time. When I hear the president saying that, I don't know where that statement is coming from.
Right.
President had the discussions with us, and this is the outcome. He did not request for even a day. He only discussed the issue with us and directed that these demands or this, how do you call it, what these steps that the government is going to be taking should be written to us. That has been done correctly. The president has not said anything. We had a discussion. We said by the 10th of October, if nothing has been done, there will be a nationwide strike. The president discussed the issues with us, our demands with us, and what he's able to do is what is told us, and it's written vividly on this paper. That is all.
Okay, so that was the Secretary General of the Organized Labor, and they were talking about the outcome of the meeting, and he has already listed them, so I don't need to read them, right? So I was just thinking even about some of the sustainable solutions we can, think up about this. And personally, I think that one of the ways we can try to mitigate this issue is, for me, I'm always of the view that if you're going to ask me to stop A, please provide or give me suggestions on what to do, especially because this is a source of livelihood. A lot of people are risking their lives every day to go and indulge in this because of the money they will get to feed themselves. So I think that Ghana is known for seeking help abroad. So if we can seek help abroad, from the Bretton Woods institutions, and they can give us some amount of money or equipment that we can use to sort of try to, heal our land, where now maybe we need people to sort of sweep out or dig out or sort of filter the waters or something that will provide jobs for the people, but it is not galamsey. It is rather maybe the replanting, the holes that have been dug, filling them up and things like that. We should rather turn it around to create a job that will fix our issue. I don't know if you understand what I'm talking about. Yes.
Right.
So that we can... So as we've taken them out of galamsey, we've brought them into a different kind of employment, and then there's also money being provided for that. And then we are killing two birds with one stone.
Yes, but before anything is implemented, I think, first, I was saying, if government should grant the state of emergency, as we speak now, as organized labor is requesting government to do, what is the impact of state of emergency? How is state of emergency like? And how is the feeling going to be like in the economy? Because when there is state of emergency, means nothing is going to work. We are all going to be, let's say, in the house, no movement. We are even limited with freedom of speech. So basically, nothing goes on. The country is just down. So you asked a question, you asked B a question that, what was the provision organized labor made to government if there is state of emergency? Those who are working, who are not, let's say, involved in illegal mining, who are just doing their own business. Because, well, we understand those who are in the government sector, when a state of emergency, government will still pay at the end of the month. But the question is, what about those in the private industry, those who are doing their own business when there's state of emergency? Is there any provision that organized labor also has laid before government, of which we believe organized labor would need to respond to issues like this? Because students are not going to school again. And all these things are issues that I think organized labor needs to lay out clearly so that everybody would understand my concern.
Adding up to what you're saying, the issue of humanitarian concerns will also have to come in, because in as much as the state of emergency is to enforce laws to be working in a stricter way, I also feel the vulnerable population of our people is also going to be at risk, because movement is restricted. Purchasing is even restricted. You can't go out to say you're going to buy something. Well,
maybe the state of emergency might be tailored to galamsey specifically. So maybe there will be some sort of military crackdown on all the mining communities, known and unknown. So it may not necessarily affect everybody.
So I think we expect labor to come out with issues like this. So we would really understand.
that percentage of people I'm talking about. It is going to affect them. In as much as we are fighting galamsey, let me tell you, some of these communities that illegal mining, activities are happening are very, like, they are booming when it comes to businesses. At night, they don't sleep. Like, that place is like, a place to make all that money that you want. And so it needs to be tackled in a way that, I think that is why government was delaying in responding to organized labor, because we are in an election year.
Yes, that's another thing.
They are looking at, a very large, let's look at the impact. How is it going to affect us as a political party? Because don't forget, the incumbent government is from a political party that is contesting this year. So these are some of the issues they are being, tactical about. They don't really want to go straight forward and say, but I also have issues with some of the comments that are being passed by these same people.
Oh, yeah.
Because people assume that it is your government that has allowed these things to be happening. And so if you're coming out to say something, address issues concerning this, you need to say it in a way that's,
polite way.
But you see, we claim there's freedom of speech, as a democracy. So there are people, there are people in this government that make certain pronouncements, and so like, let me even liken it to the military rule some years back. There were, there are allegations of some soldiers that would do all kinds of gruesome and cruel things to people in the name of their leader at the time. And so some of these people, like, now we have the freedom of speech. You don't exactly need anyone to sort of censor or give you some permission to speak. You just speak, and you are, based on your affiliation, it will be attached to them. So I think they themselves also need to think about whatever they are saying.
You are a leader. A leader should know when and how to speak, right? When I watched the video of the president addressing the issue, when I was watching it, all I was seeing was a strict father. Like, this will be a strict father.
Then
because
he should come and be strict on the
when people misbehave, it is not my responsibility to, arrest them. They have misbehaved, and so if they misbehave, they have to be arrested.
He's the commander-in-chief of the police, though.
Yes.
So there's a little disconnect in that statement, but
we'll leave that to
exactly. We have a few comments. Yes. Okay. Please, my dear cherished viewers, I know our hearts are bleeding, but let's keep our comments demure. Let's keep them. Let's be very decorous with our comments. So this one says, this regime, democracy, has done more harm than good to we, the Ghanaian citizens, and it is undisputed. Hashtag stop galamsey now. Then that's from TA. Now, DNJ Ventures also says, pressure must be mounted on the Legislative House to do the needful by activating... Please. So somebody wants impeachment. I beg you. The executive must not be the only focal point. The legislature must not be extricated. Most are neck deep in the menace, but it is time to tell them power emanates from the people, and thus MPs who will vote against the process must be voted out. We can't sacrifice Ghana because of the selfishness of just a few. There were parts of your comments that were not the best, but in the end, it ended up as a very beautiful comment, and thank you so much. Now, we have Joseph also saying, I can't wait for this strike. It will be one of the unprecedented strikes in Ghana.
On this strike issue, I wanted to tackle something very profound that Clement raised, a concern that has to do with the intended strike by organized labor. Yeah. We have to look at the impact, not just because of illegal mining, but the impact of that intended strike on all of us. We know galamsey is having an impact on us, but the strike is also equally going to have an impact. Yes. So we need to stress on the impact of this intended strike so that it will sit well in government's ears, so that they will pay attention and take action.
Yes, but you remember I mentioned that the workforce of any company or the nation is basically the foundation. Yeah. Now, if this is what the foundation is, I think even the Bible says if the foundations are something weak, how will the Oh, my pastors, please.
Oh, it's so the economic one.
Yes.
So if, the foundational bodies in Ghana have decided that no, then it means that our leaders, their power is also now shaken. And if they want to maintain that power, or if they are here, we put them there to meet our needs, to represent us, to come and to govern us, pay attention to our grievances and the rest. If this is the way they will respond, then of course, that is what the foundational agencies will do. Now, it's always said that sometimes, yes, a few will be sacrificed for the greater good. And if this strike is going to affect us, but in the long run, it is going to bring onto us beneficial things, then I would say we should go for it.
Yeah, so
yes, we will suffer, we will cry, but if tomorrow our generations, posterity, will see the efforts that were made by their ancestors and also be able to live in this country. We even have, I think, some Ghanaians in Lebanon who are being told to evacuate. All the Ghanaians in the diaspora, wherever, at the end of the day, home is where the heart is. Home is home. And if you cannot go home, Obima and so, and Albertina, how many people are even able to stay? So we need to still sacrifice something to get something and, be able to just heal our land, because 60% of our water bodies, if not more.
See, that's what I'm saying. Much elaborations have been done on the impact of illegal mining on us, yet nothing has been done. Now, one of the major working forces of this country, which is the organized labor, is also intending to embark on a strike, which is going to have a very severe impact on us. So I also think we should channel that energy to looking at the impact that strike is going to have on us.
Yes,
okay. Because it is not just us. Now, people were saying that Galamsey is not happening in Accra, so a lot of
but the food stuff
because a lot of people in Accra are not concerned because it is happening out of Accra. The impact of organized labor strike is going to have an impact on all of us.
Yes,
exactly.
But the impact of Galamsey, all our water bodies, completely finished, versus the impact of the strike of organized labor. Which one?
Yeah, I think you're not getting.
One is a long term, and
which
one is immediate.
Even the immediate one, I'm sure we have hospital records of people suffering from, effects of drinking the water. How long till it's a nationwide problem?
Yeah, I think you're not getting Mimi's point. Mimi's point is trying to say that let's look at the impact of the intended strike. We have the positive impact, we have the negative impact. If governments understand the positive impact of this intended strike, then he should be able to do something as soon as possible.
At the end of the day,
that is the angle.
The strike just wants is basically to get a response that what measures what action are you taking? Take some action for us. If they do, if the strike begins, it's supposed to be tomorrow, right? No, on Thursday. If the strike begins and then we hear, okay, military, Air Force, Navy, all of that have been dispatched to the various locations, and there has been a crackdown on the people, of course, organized labor will call off the strike, because we want to hear something like that, look, we are taking action. The documentation and the speeches are enough.
And there are not just the aspects of you deploying military men to this.
No, it's just an example that, some actionable solutions have started being put in place.
Yes, I get a point. But let me pick it for where the point Mimi was trying to bring in. That's the impact of this intended strike. One, we have the positive impact, we have the negative impact. Let me pick the aspect of if organized labor should embark on strike, what is the effect on this strike on government? One, government should understand that the workforce that contributes to the development of Ghana and the economic growth of this country, they are all going to stop. So just imagine the significant loss you are going to incur in terms of development, in terms of economic growth. Government should take a look at that. Notwithstanding, if all workforce is down, I don't think government would be so happy enough.
The country will not run. Then they can take some action if that is what they seemingly want to respond to.
Yeah, so can I continue?
Yes, please.
So with that, when the government fails to respond to the strike action that organized labor has taken, the question is, what's next? Organized labor will still continue until a solution is provided. And what we also want to tell government is that we don't just want a shabby solution where you just tell us that you are deploying a military to the grounds. Within a week, we don't see any military. You are revoking the LI 2462. You go to Parliament and you come tell us that it is AB because they are in political year. Parliament is not in certain. They are in recession. You see, it's left with just 2 months, 3 months election, and you see this thing has become like a political game because when government sees that when he either responds to what organized labor is saying, probably it can affect their vote.
Yeah.
When they fail to respond to it, it's also going to affect their vote. Yeah. So the reason why, the truth be told, the reason why all this game is going around in this season is because of the political impact of the ruling government in the 7th December election. Yeah. That's the truth be told.
Then if... okay.
And someone will ask, why is organized labor doing that? Of which I said earlier that a ruling member of the government talked about why strike today or why strike now. Strike can be done later, but do you expect us to sit down and watch our brothers who only water or their source of water is these streams and these rivers in the villages, and these waters are being polluted? You will be in Accra, you can import water, you can buy mineral water to drink.
See,
what about us ordinary people?
The food you go and cook, you use it to substitute the...
Yaira, some people can buy food from outside the country.
The restaurants here, they all use the same.
Someone, we need to conquer it. But what about us?
Yes.
These are the things that ordinary Ghanaian wants. So these are the things organized labor looked into. That he's looking into a normal workforce with his, because with the workforce in Ghana, our conditions of service now, sorry to say, papa, to an extent that today NIA workers are on strike. Yeah. It's all because of conditions of service.
We can't even budget.
We can't even budget, as we discussed today. At the end of the day, you can't budget.
I can't budget.
So it's a national concern that we all need to come together and fight. Say no to Galamsey.
Yes.
And for me, I support strike action.
In this country, when people decided to go and protest, a second batch decided to go and protest. And because they set the time at, let's say, 10, at 8 something, Ghana police deployed over 120,000 billion policemen.
And it was so surprising that in Ghana police, and so offer confirm if yes is a problem. But anyway, we have some comments here. So we have, this is from a Good Day Film Production. It says, look at what you have brought upon yourselves. You cannot even negotiate for proper conditions of service for us, yet you are using the union to do somebody's bidding. This person, hey, I have told you, my dear viewers, please. Keep your comments, decorous, right?
I think, Yara, let me respond to a good day. And then, they are not using the union to do bidding. They are using the union to fight for the interest of the good people of Ghana. Yeah.
So the person also does not think that the strike action will be successful. Then we have one more comment. Hey, they've sent me a video, a Facebook video. But... yeah, so this is one of the reasons the strike is needed to curb all of these. And it's a video, I think it was on Facebook. It's one of the polluted water bodies, the way they've also dug around. Oh, but all to, okay, hey, the comments, I find nobody comments, the time is up, it's okay.
Yeah, you have to cut them.
Yeah, so Rose Entertainment again says, if that hadn't been the case, this government would have strongly rejected the claim in the media that it had asked for more time. Isn't it obvious that the government is buying more time by now waiting for Parliament to sit before a decision is made on an LI that he is clothed with executive power to quash in a flip of a second? There is simply no commitment by the government to fight Galamsey because they are heavily involved. Hey, people. Then this is my namesake. So this one is, saying, good morning, I'm Yaira from Afenia, New Jerusalem. In fact, you guys are doing good work. The gala is it Galamsey or Gala? Okay, Gala is too much. Thank you so much for your comment. Now, Stage Africa says, surprised, the fight against Galamsey should be a matter of urgency. The government must act now. What are they waiting for? It is surprising to hear the government say, after meeting with organized labor, that they will collaborate with Parliament when they reconvene to have the LI revoked. I reiterate that the fight must be urgent. The government must act now, and I support the protesters, organized labor, and the likes. Thank you so much for your comments.
Yaira,
yes.
Lastly, the reason why this Galamsey issue need immediate attention. Me, I'm very scared though for people because the Fetish Priests Association,
the gods of our land,
they are going to, stage a nationwide protest against Galamsey, unexplained cases and death to follow.
That long time. When they started polluting, that was when they should have sent
mercy.
Yes,
You know the gods,
I think they've consulted the gods.
Haven't the gods even left these rivers, these polluted rivers? And
please, stop.
Well, there's also a peace walk, which is when on 11th, right?
Yeah, the Catholic. Also,
okay, so there would also be a peace march by the Catholic Diocese of Ghana as well. So if you'd like to join them, please, I think you are at liberty too. This brings us to the end of this conversation. I know some of your comments are still coming in, but all too soon, the time is up. And we thank you so much for your comments. Thank you for your contributions. And I would like to remind you, please depoliticize your comments. Please keep your comments decorous as well. Yes, we will be with you again on Thursday morning, as always. And a big thank you to our production team, our management, sponsors, every single person that contributed to making the show a success. We are most grateful. Now, don't forget, we are in Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So as you can see the ribbon, please make sure to get checked, get the women in your lives checked. And even you yourself as men, get checked as well. Breast cancer is unisex, even though it seems to affect more women than men. It is the breast tissues that are affected. So please get checked in this month. There are a lot of hospitals and medical or health facilities that are undertaking some screening and free teachings on breast cancer. Get helped and get some information on that as well. We will see you again on Thursday morning. Do have an amazing day and week ahead.
Clog TV. Beyond the policy.